Hello again, and in this new tutorial you will learn how to create cool galleries using Adobe Dreamweaver. In this opportunity I will show you how to create these cool effects in any gallery you want to create about any topic you want. So let's go! Okay, to start with the gallery creation, first, we need to check if our site is properly created. So I'm going to click here in Documents, and I need to check if my site, in this case, my site folder called My Site Sebastian Noguera, has inside three folders: Audio folder, Images folder, and Video folder. In this session, I need 4 images previously stored in that folder because my gallery is about video games. So remember, your galleries could be about anything or could be about your recent project, about your favorite sport. So once you check this, let's open Dreamweaver, and before starting, we need to check our site creation. So let's go to the site menu and click on Manage Sites. I'm going to erase my site in order to start over again. Okay, once I'm done, I'm going to create the site again. If you check, there is no folders join in this local site because there is no site created. So I'm going to site, I'm going to start with a new site. Okay, my site will be labeled as my site. Okay, and use capital my site, and my name. I'm going to click on next. I'm going to click on no. I don't want to use a server technology because this is a local site. Next, I'm going to edit local copies on my machine, the recommended option, and I'm going to click in this folder icon, and I'm going to select my folder, and then I'm going to select the images folder. If you see, my site name is labeled or is showing on the screen. So once this is done, I'm going to click on select. You have to check this route and click on next. I'm going to click on none because I don't want to use a remote server, because as I told you before, all the site is going to be local. Click on next, and finally click on done. Once you have this, you will see in this area the folders you are going to use in your website creation. I don't have any audio, but I have 4 images stored, and you can see the stored images right here, and the same thing in videos. No videos stored yet, so once this thing is already created, you can start with the gallery creation. To start with our gallery creation, let's start with a new HTML document. Remember, if you don't have this start screen, you can go on File, click on New, and start with a new HTML file. So, in previous sessions, we learned how to create HTML data tables. So in this opportunity, we need a data table, an HTML data table, to create our gallery using thumbnails and a big screen called the container gallery. So let's start with the table. You can click on this icon, or you can go to Insert menu and select the table option. In this case, I'm going to use the table icon, and I need a table of 1 row by 2 columns. This table will have 1000 pixels, and I'm not going to use border, cell padding, or cell spacing. So I'm going to click on OK, and I'm going to enlarge this table. Don't forget, always, if you want to align the table, you can click on this number, you can select the table, and inside the Properties Inspector, you will see new options in order to align, in this case, the new table. I'm going to center my table. I'm going to fix this column width. Let's check here. And clicking on this cell, I need to split this cell in 3 or 4 rows. Because I have 4 images, I need 4 rows. And I'm going to put every image in a new cell. Click on OK. I need to fix this height. I'm going to use 100 pixels. I need to enlarge this using 100 pixels. Again with the next cell, and finally the last one. Okay, let's organize this cell. Okay, now I'm going to start. One of the advantages of using local site files is that you can drag and drop all files you have stored in every folder you have in your local site. So in this case, I need to start clicking on my first image and dragging into the first cell. Once you release the click, you click on OK. If you to set some alternate text, you can do it. In this case, I don't want to. And you will see a big image. So in order to shrink, using proportion measures, you can hold the Shift key in your keyboard and shrink the image in the size you want. Because our table gets unfixed or gets kind of damaged, you can fix this clicking again and resize the column. You can do this with every image you have in case your table goes damaged in the measures. I'm going to click in the second cell and I'm going to drag and drop the second image, the same attributes, and holding Shift, I'm going to shrink that image and I'm going to fix the table column width. This image, I want this image to be in the center. This image also, no changes appear because I'm selecting the maximum column width for that image. So let's continue. Next, the Metal Gear Solid image. Okay, it's a big image. Let's find the black square. start shrinking it. Continue shrinking it. Organize the column again. You have to do this anytime you need to fix images inside cells. I need this quite small, center, and in the final cell I'm going to check this final image. This is from the game The Last of Us. Nice game, by the way. So I'm going to shrink this final image. Fix the column width. There's still a big image. Okay. And finally, now we are finished with the first step in my gallery. These small images are called the thumbnails, or in Spanish, las miniaturas. Okay, and for one last step, I'm going to click in the big cell and I'm going to insert the first image I inserted previously. In this case, I'm going to insert again the Assassin's Creed image. I'm going to perform again the same procedure, and once I finish, my gallery is completely done. Okay, I need a bigger image. Okay, now center, and I'm finished with the second step in my gallery creation. Okay, now in order to start with behaviors and effects creation on our gallery, it is important to set up some attributes to our images before starting with behaviors setup. So I'm going to click in the first image, and in this section of Properties Inspector, I'm going to label that image with some random name. In this case, I'm going to label using picture 1, enter. I'm going to do the same thing with the other images. This image will be named picture 2. The next image, picture 3, and so on. And for the big image in the big cell, I'm going to label using the name container. Okay, I have picture 1, 2, 3, 4, and container. Now, in the right side of Dreamweaver graphic interface, you will see the files you will use or you're used in this exercise, and you will see another inspector called the Tag Inspector. I'm going to minimize this in order to see the name, the Tag Inspector, and I'm going to use this inspector in order to set up attributes, behaviors, and effects using JavaScript programming language in an easy way, obviously. So I'm going to start with this image. I'm going to open my Tag Inspector, and you will see attributes and behaviors. In this session, I will use only behaviors. So I'm going to start. Drop down this menu, this plus menu, add behavior, and I'm going to look for the swap image behavior. So once you click in this option, you will see the name of the pictures. I'm going to swap always the container image. In this case, I'm going to swap the container image for another image. Clicking on browse, I can select from my side the images. In this case, I'm going to select the Assassin's Creed image. Click on OK in this message, and I'm going to untick this option called Restore Images on Mouse Out. Later, I will explain you what's this option for. Once you click on this, I click on OK, and you will see some new behaviors in this section. Next, I'm going to perform the same instruction or the same step in every thumbnail I set up before. So drop down the menu, swap image, always select container because this is the big image. Click on browse, and in this opportunity I'm going to select the Final Fantasy image. OK, untick the option, and so on. And perform the same steps on the other thumbnails. Container, Metal Gear Solid in this opportunity, untick, OK. And finally, swap image, container, browse, The Last of Us, and OK. Now, in this opportunity, we have a previous gallery already set up. But let's see. Click on File, Save, and outside all these three folders, I'm going to save my web page with the name Gallery. I recommend from now on use only lower score letters and try to avoid spaces, hyphens, accents, and all the stuff you need in order to label your new web pages. In my case, I'm using the name Gallery, and click on Save, and I'm going to preview my web page using Firefox. Let's check. Now I have my gallery. Once I put the mouse pointer on every image, you will see the change. But if you don't want to swap the images when the mouse goes over the thumbnail, you can fix this. Let's return to Dreamweaver, and I'm gonna click the first thumbnail, and in this behavior section you can switch or change the behavior of the mouse pointer. When I drop down this menu, you can select the option on click. That means when I click on that thumbnail, the image on the container section will appear. Let's fix in the other images. On click option, and let's try again. Okay, the last one. Okay, everything is already set up. I'm going to preview on Firefox. If you want to save changes, I'm going to click always yes. And let's check. The mouse pointer doesn't change the pictures, and when I click on Final Fantasy thumbnail, you will see the Final Fantasy big image, the Metal Gear Solid, The Last of Us, and finally the Assassin's Creed image. Now, for finish with this, in order to finish with the gallery, let's put some effects. or some effects, sorry, in our gallery. I'm going to click again the first thumbnail and I'm going to add a new behavior in the effects option. And you can select from these 7 effects. I'm going to select appear effect. What will be my target element? Obviously the container image. And instead of the fade, I need the appear effect. You can select this percentage number. If you want to set on 0, the image is completely invisible, or you can select the 100% percentage if you want the images in the full appear option. I don't need to customize all these options, so I'm going to click on OK. I'm going to do the same thing. Effects, appear on the container. Instead of fade, let's click on appear. Scroll down, drop down, effects, appear, container, appear, OK. And finally, for the Last of Us thumbnail, effects, appear, container, appear, and OK. Once again, let's preview on Firefox, save changes, of course, and this pop-up window tells you that now you're using JavaScript effects. Now in your folder side, you will see a new folder called spryeffects.js. So don't be scared if you will see a new folder in your side menu. Click on OK, and now when I click on Assassin's Creed, you will see the appear effect option, or the appear effect, finally for Metal Gear, and for The Last of Us. Now you have a full gallery with some cool effects for your websites. And thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.